All right, guys, we are back. Some stuff that happened. That was pretty funny. But
yeah, apparently there was like 4 of them, and I had downloaded the wrong one. So it was like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. So I finally looked at the little logo, and I was like, wait, that's completely different. So.
All right. Here we go. That's cute. All right, let's see if we can move this down. There. Okay. So we should be on. Let me see. We should be on.
It's live.
Okay. Everybody. Everybody, where are you?
So is it like, should I open it?
Okay, yeah, we're live. Okay, that's why. Okay, so I don't know why Facebook is stupid, but for this app, for some reason, they don't let them have permission to see the people who comments, like actual faces or names, even though it's a private group and we know each other. So it's just ridiculous. So we apologize, you guys, because we cannot, on our end, we cannot see who's commenting. We just see the comments, okay? So, hi, everybody. This is Andrea, and she is the owner of VOX KORA. And would you like to explain a little bit about that, your business?
Well, right now it is about learning for me right now. It kind of came up suddenly from just drawing to a merging of information that just suddenly started coming with it. So right now it is, I've noticed it's a lot about symbology, symbols, the psyche, how we interpret things. I notice how different things will come through for different people based on how they perceive things. So it has a lot to do with the psyche. And what I try to do is kind of activate, I call it the expanded interdimensional psyche. That's like what it feels like to me, which is where everything has like multiple meanings and multiple. Oh, I just saw an orb fly by you. Everything.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Everything has multiple meanings, and it's just, it goes on and on and on. It's like everything is a labyrinth in itself, and so I try to decode things for people based on what I receive, and kind of help navigate what they're going through, what they're experiencing, why, what it has to do with, and where it could be going. So far, that's what it's been about.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, so I would like you to give us a little brief informational about your remembrance process, like whatever you want to share, like how beginning or ending, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Well, as is typical with most people, I guess, it's kind of like all your life things have, happened or occurred, but that the activation, like when it all just was there, I literally, like, there was a year, I was about to turn 30, and I had even written in my journal because I felt all of this stuff I had never felt before. I now know it's like upgrades and all of that. I didn't know what all that was. All I know was like something is happening, and I was like, I started channeling in my journals constantly. And I wrote, on my birthday this year, I'm going to activate. And I'm like, what am I talking about? Like, I had no idea. Freaked my family out. Like, they didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. So it kind of just, for me. Mm-hmm. I learned later, because it went to such an extreme, that it led me to some very interesting experiences. So it was like, kind of like, boom, and then like, figure out how to control that fast, because wow, it can lead to some crazy things. So
Right?
Yeah, stories, it's just insane. But yeah, so I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago is when I learned, like, I mean, it was just a one thing after another. I learned about the star seeds and the oneness, and just, I mean, you know how when it begins, it just like dominoes, like falling constantly. So it just steamrolled from there. And then after this past eclipse, the big eclipse, it just kind of merged into this offering that I could share with people. And it started out very simply, lines, and it was my psyche like forming its own language to kind of transmit that information. So it's just more every day. I learn through everybody that I read. And for me personally, lately, since you said remembrance, I'm having like past life memories that are just random. Strange for me. Like, for example, for the last several months, I've had a 1977, Michigan, 1977, and I had a dream where these three figures were like, say you remember me, and all of this. And so later on, it was fire, Michigan, 1977. So I'm looking this up, and there was apparently this great fire in Michigan in 1977. So I was just like, oh, and I kind of like left it alone. But that kind of thing is starting to happen now, to where it's just like kind of instant validation, I guess. Mm-hmm. So really interesting. Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. Can you tell us what your gifts are?
I'm learning that a lot. Like, it's like one thing, it's kind of like the facets. One thing can do multiple things. It's really with how you weave it and what you're doing with it. For right now, I'm noticing, like, I learned about the rainbow ray, and because that's my color, or colors, I guess. So that taught me that, okay, I can learn all of these different rays and like manipulate them and use them to how I need. And I talked to this really cool dragon lady because I have a very strong connection with dragons. And she's like, oh, rainbow is all about hope and giving people hope. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because that is kind of the directions my readings take. Is like, here's what's coming up and it's going to be great. It's kind of like blessings. Like, yeah. I don't get a lot into, you know, I have read some shadow stuff, but not a whole lot. It's very much goal oriented and keeping you inspired and stuff. And that's what spirit sends me. That's why I was like, I don't know what I'm giving out exactly, but I started to see the pattern. So it's formulating. I do mediumship. I do some healing, but I don't have any official training in any aspects yet. A lot of it is just interpreting, decoding, decrypting, the chiromancing, which is, you know, following the signs and the symbols and kind of reading the equations that some can't see and translating it. So.
And, you know, I got a reading earlier this year, right? Was it? Yeah. By Andrea, and it's so funny because it was spot on to everything that I've had seen before. Is the confirmation, big confirmation of all my past life stuff and and the cycle I was currently in, you know, at that time that she read me. And it was like everybody was going through that dark night of the soul around like the beginning of the year, the ending of last year. And so that's what she read. And I was like, holy shit, it is exactly how I feel. And it's exactly like past life related because I've seen it, you know, already. So it's a good thing that it's a good confirmation for all of us where, you know, we do go to people to confirm, like, because we're not crazy. like I'm not imagining.
I gotta tell you are.
You know? And that's a good thing, you know. That's why we have this community to share our, you know, our experiences and interpretation of our own spiritual path, and of course, sharing and exchanging knowledge of what we learned and hoping to learn more. You know, that's the expansive of the conscious awareness of the self and the connection to all. And that is what Andrea does, where she taps into your, you know, conscious mind that's connected directly to the source in order for you to, and, you know, your guides come in too. And so they give her like a brief synopsis of your energy at this point in time and what you need help with and what path you're going towards, you know, and that's a wonderful gift. Thank you.
It is really amazing to see what all, like I said, this was all new to me. So to have everything, like to have these like Ganesha or Kuan Yin and like whatever the person needs, it's such a specific energy signature that I can like give to them and explain why. And it's like putting a puzzle together sort of to where the person can see it. And it kind of, I think there's like activations, and that's why I write it, because to see that laid out like that, to where it's like boom, 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 to where people are like, okay, like you said, I'm not crazy. This totally doesn't make sense. I see it now. And it always validates something for me too, which is like the one I'm doing now is blowing my mind, which I will show you what I've done. But it's just, it's such a fun adventure to do this. It really is. So I'm excited about where it's going to go.
Yeah. So is there any insights you have with the current energies for everyone?
Well, I know with myself and a few others that I've spoken with, there is a heavy, and I don't mean dark, but a kind of trickster energy around. Like, and it's kind of the mischievous, it's the tester, it's the initiating you into, okay, can you discern what is really happening right now? Are you seeing a mirror? Are you seeing through fear? It's kind of, and I call that trickster. That's how they come to me, is it's like a trading to where, do you see what's going on? Because if you don't, you will mess something up, and it's a very delicate. So for me, that's what I've been feeling. Like with the ravens and such, like there's a kind of illusionary aura in the air, to where, to me, that's right before another shift is about to occur. So certain people are wrapping up cycles right now, and they're about to, I see the doors already open for a lot of people, and they're about to just step through. Mm-hmm. So, right, like, yes. So right now on the other side. So it's kind of like that fear of, oh my gosh, like, you know, me getting me on video. It was impossible. Yeah. So stepping through that door and letting all that stuff go, there's a lot of release going on and a lot of holding on. So that's what I've picked up right now a lot. So
yes. And that is exactly what I feel is happening with a lot of people, where we're starting to see like the surface areas that need to be dealt with deeper, you know, where things are coming up, and then we're shining the light on it in order for us to transition and remove whatever we don't need anymore, so we can move forward. And I said this to somebody the other day, where they were having a hard time with the energies and thinking that, you know, why is everything so messed up, or why this or that, right? And I said it because I've experienced that before. You've I've talked to you when I've experienced that whole, like, I'm hitting a brick wall type of feeling. Okay, so,
yeah. To me, that's part of the trickster, because you will be laid bare, like naked in a mirror, and you're just like, crap, I've been avoiding all this stuff, and there it is. Can't run from it. Like, yeah.
Yep. And I tell people, it's like, it's a cycle that we go through in order for us to understand, to follow the trail down into the deepest, darkest root of our soul, so that we can shine the light on it and see it for what it is, and not, you know, and be honest with ourselves that, hey, this thing is here because it needs to be, you know, reassessed. It needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be healed, you know, however long it takes, but it needs to be acknowledged, and you need to start working on it. And that's why people get stuck. Well, that's why people get in a rut. That's why people feel like they're hitting a brick wall or something with their energies. And it's because they're refusing to acknowledge it. And when you start, soon as you start acknowledging it, as soon as you start talking about it, then things will just start opening up. And just like when that time that I told you recently, and I talked again, and all of a sudden it was like, boom, like I was just propelled out of there.
Yeah, exactly. It's quick.
I am now.
It's hard because you have to look at it not as work, and that's really, really hard. Like my mind, and again, I'm very imagery. I see a big rock, and there's like this diamond in the middle, and all of that resistance. Like if we would just chip away at that rock, we would get to the like treasure in the middle. So it is like, okay, like the goal. It's not just, oh, this freaking shadow work. Like there's a goal. Let's find the diamonds. Let's find the treasure. Let's, I'm trying. And that's that dragon energy, the dragons and the hoarding of the jewels. That's knowledge. That's wisdom. They offer that to you as well. So it's kind of that dragon energy of everything's a treasure if you can just find the right perspective of it.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, and everybody says this, that hard times are just, hard times, and then you'll move past it or whatever. But it's true, you guys. It's not losing hope. It's understanding that everything, we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to expand our awareness and heal. That's going to happen because that's what ascension is. It's to continue to go forward and up, and up, wherever we go. And it's not an easy process. Is that that she's gone through a lot of transformations. Is kind of like she's like the phoenix, like always transforming and just and that's like all of us too, every milestone that we hit, it propel us further up, and it's just keeping mindful watch of that and understanding, and it makes it easier when you realize, holy shit, this is a pattern I'm in, it just makes it easier.
Right. And you have to be lightheartedness. That child heart is so important because you will get so bogged down. And if you can't find that, like you can't float without that, So for me, that's because I've gone through some stuff, and that is the only thing that has saved me, was going to that part of myself that knows it's lighter than air, and that, none of that other stuff really exists. It's like, okay, only this center exists. And then everything kind of seems less important and less intense, it's like stepping back. Yeah,
it's just like having the eagle's eye view of things and understanding that, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people feel that being confronted with a negative energy or a person that's negative, constantly being confronted by that, it's like, why me, why me, why me? No, start asking yourself, what is this teaching me about myself? Because it all lies within. We are mirrors of each other, you guys. That is why we attract our like energies. We vibrate at the same frequency, especially if we are not dealing with things within ourselves that needs to be healed or dealt with. We vibrate and we resonate with somebody who is expelling all of that in the open. And then you're just like, gosh, man, like this guy or this girl is so blah, 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 or whatever. And you get frustrated because they're mirroring your emotions within yourself.
Yeah. Mirrors, man. That's
always happens.
It's like a hall of mirrors, everything. And that really is part of the lightheartedness. You kind of just have to be like, and this is hard for a lot of us, you just have to be like, you know what, fuck it, I don't know right now. And just let it go. Whatever it is, just, let it. And I have to physically shake sometimes, like push it. It's hard. There are some techniques to get that out. You have to really like push it out. It's hard. But if we can, it's worth it. Like, it's so worth it. We just have to help people understand how to stay light about it. And that's for me. So I'm learning too.
Yeah, we're all learning, and we're all here together, to learn from one another. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of our connectedness. That's the beauty of this oneness. And, and it's funny because a lot of people always used to complain to me that, oh, you know, this person or that person is contradicting themselves, or this person is not of love and light. Honestly, they're on a different path, you know, and that is their path to lead. And if you don't resonate, that's okay. That's your path to lead. And
it's like you can be mad at somebody for being a mirror to you too. Yeah. It's hard to say, hey, I'm supposed to be seeing this.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
you.
When
like you said,
people say, you know, that they're not of love and light, it's kind of like you're mirroring that too. It's like, are you of love and light too? Because obviously, if you feel that way, there's something within you that's feeling like you're not worthy of it as well. Like you're not
the lesson is very love and light. So we're all love, we're all light.
Yeah,
so it's like they're reflecting some things, some darker, shadowier part. Yeah,
and that's fine. That's their path. You know, that's what they came here to do, you know, and they came here to be a lesson for us as well. We are a lesson for others, you know, and we're always going to be on either the shadow or the light for somebody, you know, it's always going to be that way. I know I was somebody's enemy, you know, and it's just like, okay, you know, like, I guess I could play that role, but all right. Like, I just laugh about it because, you know, they saw me in such a bad light, like they just were enraged with how much I would just be like, whatever, you know. And like, because I'm just like, okay, you're mad at me, you hate me, that's fine with me. I'm living my life. And they would be enraged because of that, because they couldn't get me to be that way or whatever. And they were showing me my shadow aspects too, where the way I used to handle things as well, it reminded me of the way I used to handle things. And then I was like, well, let's heal this part of me, you know? And then all of a sudden,
yeah. Because you realize, you said, oh, I used to be just like that. And to be like, that's the closure. It's closed, realize.
Exactly. And that's what we all are cycling through, you guys. So, you know, don't kill the messenger. Because we tend to do that though, you know, like as a human being, we're just like, oh, what the heck, you know, this person, you know, and then we're just like, I'm gonna, you know, and you're just like, wait a minute, step back, don't kill the messenger. This is something going on within you. You know?
Fire, yeah, seriously. You know, a lot of it does, to me, and this is something I've noticed this past year as I've confronted this myself, is the victim mentality. That is one of like the first walls that you're going to hit, and it's in everything. That is, I mean, whether or not you're mad that you're in traffic, well, guess what? You're having that victim mentality. I mean, it's in everything. And it's good to drop it, because you'll feel sorry for yourself over, hey, I do every little thing. I don't want to get up right now. Oh, I feel sorry. I'm a victim because I have to get up early. Like, it's ridiculous. And we don't even realize that we do it. So it's really tight. You have to, and it's hard because it's so ingrained for some of us. Like me, you have to like really go, no, I'm not a victim. This is not hurting me in any way. And you have to deprogram that. And once you start to do that, you gain your power back, and you slowly start getting your power back. And then you're like, how did I think of that as being a victim? And that's when you know, okay, I'm starting to pass that. You know, and then you find some silly thing and you'll realize, oh my God, I'm totally feeling sorry for myself. So it's ongoing. I don't know if it ever ends, but being aware of it.
I think honestly, we just progress through. Like yesterday, I was like, I give an analogy of like the Shrek movie where it's like, I'm like an onion. I have a lot of layers to myself. It's just like, that's what we are, you know? We have a lot of layers to our soul. We have a lot of learning, a lot of lessons that we're being faced daily. And just having that, like the understanding of it, it'll be helpful. And, you know, and after that, you could just laugh at yourself for freaking out over something.
That's important too. That's important too. You have to be able to look back and just let it go. That's the big ones, man. The victim mentality and the letting go. Those are the two big ones I've seen lately. Of course, it's always about letting go. Every time you let stuff go, there's more stuff to let go. It never ends. So you have to get good at it.
it's ascending. You know, the more you're going up that staircase, you know, every time. And even if it's the same or a similar lesson, you're still going upwards. You know, you're not gonna.
It's
you're just gonna keep going.
It takes forever.
It goes like no linear thinking here. Not allowed.
It's such a fun adventure though, because it gives you such a good perspective, and to be able to shift your perspective for who you're encountering, or you really kind of start knowing how to play the game a little bit. And some will think you've gone crazy, but you're seeing it that because you see it. It's such a personal thing. Like, that's why I don't bother explaining half of the stuff that I've experienced, because it's so insane. And plus it's personal stuff, and it just, people wouldn't believe. And it's just like, sometimes you just got to keep stuff to yourself.
And that's okay, you know, and like I always tell people, it's like your method of viewing the world, your own knowledge of spirituality and growth it's catered to you, you know. And so whenever we have people who always voice their opinions and say, this is it, this is how it is, and that is it, I'm right and you're wrong. It's kind of like they're going through that and go, you know, and understanding that everybody has their own unique piece of the puzzle. So it's not completely that is your hell yeah, that's perfect truth for you, but it's not perfect truth for somebody else, you know. And that's what
reality bubbles. I'm like, my bubble is this, and yours is over here, and sometimes they merge, but sometimes they don't. That's okay. And you are supposed to keep things to yourself. When it's called like the sacred view or something, the lessons and the stuff that you keep within, and it keeps their power a lot of times. And so you don't always share everything, because I don't. That's the Pisces. I'm very secretive.
I know I have Pisces moon, and so I don't share everything. I do share, like, that's why I like doing the once a week like readings on like YouTube or whatever, because I'm just sharing the energy that I'm tapping into, and that's it, you know. You resonate, you don't have whatever, you know. I'm just sharing what I am being shown, and then, you know, everything else is the same thing. It's like energy constantly changes, so I could be in this energy now, and then 5 minutes later I'll be in a different energy. And so it's like a flow. It's a constant flow of changes, you know. And so a lot of us tend to think linearly still. We're still stuck in that I'm right, you're wrong type of mentality, because they feel so deep down inside that they're right about it's all energy, you guys. You know, it's all constantly transitioning and upgrading and transforming. And so that's why we cannot do the same healing for somebody that worked for somebody else, you know. And that's what I've been faced with a lot of times with my clients, where I notice things that are different and I start doing different work, you know. And so it's not the same methods, you know. And so it's just kind of like you're flowing with it. You're just flowing with whatever you're guided to do. The energy is going to be given to you, and then the higher self is going to guide you through it. And so that's the same thing with spirituality. Your energy, you're going to tap into that energy, is going to be given to you, and your higher self is going to look through it. And you know, and a lot of people don't feel that way, you know. A lot of people are critical of others, you know, and hey, that's their path.
Well, I've noticed, as I've done this, is you have the people that lead with the heart and the ones that lead with the mind, and those are the ones where they build those strong walls, and that's what you can't get down. That's where you get the cognitive dissonance, where you get that anger response if you bring up anything not within those parameters, and they get defensive, and those are I call it mind led. Like there's kind of a dam up or something with like the heart speak, like they're not here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you do have to adapt because there's some that kind of do both, but you do have to adapt how you speak, what language and where you speak from to a lot of people as well. Like you can't keep talking heart speak to somebody that's hearing with their mind. Like it's gonna drain you. So there has to be like a bridge somewhere, but they're definitely they're hard to get through.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, whatever. You'll figure it out.
There we go.
And you know, it's funny because you brought up that subject because I remember you showing me something about some person telling you what your energy is and without you even asking. You're this, you're that, and you're that, or whatever. And you need to start doing this. And you're just like, what?
I've had some good people actually offer that kind of information. But yeah, there's a couple, like you said, you just kind of have to back away because it feels like an invasion sometimes. That have people like read you and then they like tell you what you need to do. I try not to do that. Like when I read people, I lead and I don't answer yes, no. I'm like, here's what I see now. Based on that, what do you think you should do? That way I'm not leading somebody, you know, I want the power to stay with that person. I don't like power being taken like that. So that's how I do it. But
and it's funny because when we do readings, it's like, okay, this is what your higher self is saying. So it's if you're doing you to listen or not. You know, it's still up to you to choose to listen or not because you have free will. And so if you want to do it, you want to do it. If you want to listen to the higher self, that's cool, whatever. But if you want to take a different road, that's fine too. Your higher self is still going to be there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there is no wrong way. There are longer ways, there are shorter ways, colorful ways, you know. Like one of my readings for this sweet lady, a guide came through and said, the path is a straight arrow, but you like the scenic view. And it showed her path being like all over the place. And I thought that was such a good analogy. That's exactly what we do. It's there in front of you. It's a line. It's perfectly there. But we're going to take the scenic views and the hard trails and that's what people do because we do want to learn whether or not we bitch about it or not. People do want to learn. And so they'll do that. I thought that summed it up.
Yeah. Somebody commented is like, what's that light over my head or whatnot? Oh, that's just my guides.
Usually sparkling all around you.
Yeah, it's like fairies everywhere because I've been working a lot with the nature spirits, calling them in for help and you know, guidance and stuff like that. So they're everywhere, and my guides are here, galactic guides too, and my ancestors are here, the shaman. And it's so funny because they okay. So today, great little tidbit information. I was just like, so where's my shaman ancestry really coming from? You know I had curandera stuff going on in my mom's side, but I don't know anything about my dad's side because he never expresses that stuff. And I go and Google for Sedona for some reason. I don't know. I was looking for hotels on Sedona, but I saw this website that said, oh, shaman meeting in Sedona, like early May, like next week. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. And it's, of course, it's like completely booked. But every single, like, half of those shamans have my last name.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, what the?
There you go.
And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, is half of her like grew? And I was just like, okay, so maybe that's where it's coming from. And so they're like, yeah, you know, and so they're saying, look into Toltec shamanism or medicine, you know, medicine men or women or whatnot, more information on that. And I'm like, okay, that's where it's coming from. That's where my dad's side of shamans is coming from. And because like I said, my grandmother and my grandfather passed away before my dad was even 6 years old. And so he doesn't know zero things, like nothing about his family lineage, nothing whatsoever. And so I've been working with my ancestors, and she's one of them, and she just starts, you know, telling me like, hey, look at this, look at that, or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, nice, you know. And it's a good thing that everybody has the access. Everybody does, you guys. Everyone can tap into that themselves. It's just a matter of wanting to.
It's definitely worth it because it's a process. It's like figuring out the language. You have to figure out the language being spoken to you and how to translate it, but it's within everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Everyone has a purpose and a unique mission here on Earth. It is up to you to honestly, ultimately figure it out, you know, because somebody could, like me, could tell you, okay, this is what you're here to do, but it's up to you to actually mold it into whatever it is that it's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's your unique. You're unique.
Right. That's what I try to do too, is I try to display it to where it gives that momentum and it gives that drive back to where at least, you know, for that cycle, you kind of feel like you have the wheel a little bit, you know, what to expect, what's to come, a little more faith, a little more hope, and it lifts your perspective. And that's really what we're trying to do, is lift the perspective to where we can see more than we can now. And that, I mean, there's so much to see. The world can change like right in front of your eyes in a second. We've talked about that.
Yeah. Or like with the whole situation that's going out in the world, like look at what just happened with South Korea and North Korea. Look what that is, like something when I was in the Air Force and I was in South Korea stationed there, that is something that we would have never thought would have happened, like at all. And look at this. It's just like, wow, they're actually
it's unprecedented.
Oh, yeah. It's
barely
awesome.
Stunned. They don't know they don't know how to spin it right now. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're just like,
we're just like, yeah, fist bump, you know, because we kind of pay attention to things a little bit. And it's so fun to kind of know past what the mainstream dialogue is, because it's confusing, but it's cool to be, and there's a whole community of people that are really aware of the ins and outs going on over there. It's so exciting because it's like what we've been waiting for, like this momentum, this stuff to go on, and it's all coming together. It's kind of like validates all the work we've been doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
what possible 5 years ago even.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, everybody thinks, oh, you know, my part in this journey isn't as special or whatever. No, it is, because you're here for a reason. Your energy, you're being present here, alive here, simply brings more energy onto Gaia. You know, that is what it is. Like, we're anchor points, you guys. We're all anchor points for higher vibrational energy. Every single person is. And even though some of us don't tap into it more than others, you know, they're still, you know, you're alive now because of this. You're alive now because things are changing, you know, and you decided to come around this time because of this, the great changes that are happening. You look at all that stuff that just happened. So it's just...
My guides speak a lot specifically about the witnesses and the rising of witnesses. And so the people that are here now, aware of it or not, I mean, everybody's aware of what they need to be aware of, aware of what's going on. They're all... being a witness to something is a sacred thing when you're aware of the profoundness of what it is and what it means, and that's the type of souls that are anchoring that right now. Is the witnesses are coming back, and they know and they remember, and they know they've witnessed countless cycles like this before. Just extreme events like this. Like, it's almost like part of the role of certain souls is to witness certain events, I've noticed. And the ones that say, hey, I've been here, well, they've been at a lot of these events. So I haven't figured it all out yet, but there's something about these witnesses, and they're all here now, and they're all waking up. And I'm not sure the implications of what all that means, but that just what it feels like to me is this has to be observed. What's going on now has to be observed, and it's being observed in many, many ways. So it's important right now.
Exactly. And you know, and I would like to talk about the differences between listening to your intuition and listening to others. And it's a very important thing to understand on your journey, as well as in your personal life, where if it feels wrong, then it's probably wrong. And if it feels right, then it's probably right for you, you know? And that's the thing is, it's not to warn anybody. It's more like to be more cognizant of what people say and to be more aware of where this is coming from, what frequency it's using, you know? And that's the thing with this as well, especially with the media, how we've seen how some of it could be very one-sided, you know, and it's due to the frequency it's coming from. And it's about, you know, oppression, and it's about remaining in the old paradigm, in the old patriarchal mindset. And then when that's why we're here. We're here to alleviate or remove, transmute that energy to a balanced one, where the matriarchal and patriarchal energies are both merged, because we are all merged. It's just wanting to see it physically, you know, and that's why these events are happening, and that's why the media seems like they're just grasping at straws now, because they're so confused.
Crazy weather. They're like, we'll just name a bunch of new clouds because we don't know.
Yeah.
They're trying.
They're just grasping at straws, trying to maintain that little bubble that already bursted a long time ago. You know, they're trying to pick up the pieces for this world that no longer exists, you know. And so it's us that we're here, we're witnessing this, and we're here just to help, you know, help people understand that we have transitioned from this. Now we're at a higher plane of existence. We're at a high vibration of existence. So come on with me, you know.
There's no room for division anymore, and that's really what people are waking up to, is all of the tactics that have been dividing them and that have been programming fear, and it's a rabbit hole. One thing leads to the other, and you just, I don't know, like it keeps going and going and going. You really just, I don't know. It's just like, I could go on. I'm trying to keep it short, but
I know.
It's like when I try, I just want to keep going. But yeah, it's really like, I think we're very, it's important to be here right now, because like you said, the people that are witnessing this, that are aware, they're anchoring all of that. And I think that's why that these souls have had to witness so many things, is to know how to, because that awareness is needed to really anchor it in. And that's why the division and stuff, because we can even check the Schumann resonance. The earth is going higher and higher and higher, and this stuff just isn't going to last. It's going to fall away. It's been falling away, and they're going to fight to keep it here. And that's kind of what you're seeing lately, is the fight going on to keep things the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
And that's why when you posted, like when you posted about the sun and the children of the sun and whatnot, and I was just, everybody, like, I've been getting like the same information for like a lot of people that I've been reading for. It's like, activate your solar disc, activate your solar energy, download more of that, so that we could brighten this up, and like heighten the frequency here. And it's just like, holy cow. And it's good to see that I wasn't going crazy, because I was like, why is this always like, and then just like as soon as you posted, I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of solar storms and stuff lately too. That's really interesting, that energy, and I think it's kind of like the universe responding. It's like cheering all that on, like, keep it up, keep it going, and just kind of lifting it up. I mean, like they've been saying, there's no turning back at this point. So you kind of either have to get with the program, or it's going to be really, really difficult, because the division doesn't just doesn't work anymore. Thank goodness.
Yep. There's a lot of changes happening, and and I always tend to tell people, like, don't get too hung up on this energy, right? Like that I'm explaining, like, don't, like, it's just a temporary energy. You're going to keep moving forward, and the same thing what you explained with the rainbow dragon energy that you have. It's because you integrated all of them, and you could use everything at any time in any given way. That is what the shamans tend to teach about the rainbow body, that we all have a rainbow body. We all have access to these rays or these colors and these frequencies and energies. It's just wanting to do it and how, learning how to use them. And that's the thing, is that's when you become like at that level where, okay, this is making sense. This, everything that I've done, everything that I'm moving towards is making sense. It's flowing. And yeah, and that's what
all the colors, like if you assign a color to all the energies, it's like being able to read it, sort of like an energy braille of how it translates and how it all works together and how A works with Z, and like it really helps expand the formula. And I think that's part of what the expanded interdimensional psyche is it's a convergence of all of that. So it's kind of like accessing a type of Akashic field, but there's also like a personal Akashic field, I've noticed. And I don't know if it's like a hub to where there's a translation. I haven't figured all of that out yet. I'm still trying to experiment with all that, but I've noticed there's the main field, but there's also what my psyche specifically is from a certain way. So I don't know if you've had that happen to you.
And what I liken it to is like a prism. Okay, so it's like here's a prism. There's light coming out of it, and it's white light coming into it, and then rainbows shooting out, right? And that's what I liken to how we transition from complete group consciousness or source consciousness to our unique selves. And that is where, like how you explained, there's your unique perspective, and then when you tap into the source or the cosmic awareness, there's more, there's a higher understanding, but you're from there, and it's just shooting everywhere.
My guys have actually, that's one of the first lessons that I was taught years ago. And I had to kind of back engineer what they were talking about. I was told, you're a prism, you're a prism, you're a prism, just constantly. So I had to start looking up, okay, prisms, colors, fractals, lights. So I had to learn back, and I was like, whoa, this really, like, people really are prisms. That's exactly what they are. And that helped me. And it's also reversed, because like you said, if people are all the different colors and they go in and they turn to source light, so it works both ways.
Yep.
So the kind of like, I mean, it's a perfect thing. We're all prisms.
Exactly. All right. Do you have anything else you want to share before we get off of here? It's almost going to be 8:00 your time.
Yeah, I know. No, I just want to say thank you for making me be brave, because I was completely a nervous wreck all week. So thank you so much.
I'm so glad you did it.
It's hard for me. Like, this is one of my, I told you, I have fear to work with. So I'm working on it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I'm going to see if I could get your link on here for your, for VOX KORA, so people could check you out, and your website on Facebook, so that you guys could check out her stuff, man. It's really cool. Like I highly recommend. She was on point.
Some more reading. Thank you. I need some more oracle reading.
Yeah. So, and it's, and it's funny because like I've had people that I've paid like high amounts of money to give me information about things, and it's like they couldn't tap in. And then like I got like Emmy, she straight out tapped in, you straight out tapped in, and I was just like, you know what, there's a reason why, and it's because we come from the same like lineage, and it all comes back to past lifetimes with each other. It's like we know each other's souls already, so it's just like easily access that information, bring it out to you, and just like here.
Remember how I told you I thought of you as like my bigger sister? I think you're actually younger than me. So you said you were how old?
33.
I'm 34 this year, and I'm like, wait a minute, because I told you I feel like your little sister. Like I know, like up to your knees, like little sister is what's in my head. So definitely still family.
That's funny. Yeah. And like with Jax Atlantis Tannen, he always calls me his little sister. And then like, okay, big brother, even though he's young, way younger than us.
But see, we know.
Way younger, he's like in his 20s, I think early 20s. And I'm just like, right, I'm your little sister.
He doesn't feel like it at all.
Yeah. And I told him it's because you're an old man in a young man's body. All right. So, hey, you guys, if you guys are interested in her work, make sure you check her out. I put the link on the of her page on there. So make sure you just check her out. Or you could just type in VOX KORA and it'll show up right away. I highly recommend the any type of reading with her, honestly. She's like very thorough. I mean, like I was like, it's like a novel that she said.
I know. I just want to be very clear.
And she's like, take your time, just read it one section at a time.
I do have to warn people because it surprises me how long they are. But Spirit has a lot to say. And
yeah. Like, wow, okay. But I was like, I'm just going to read it.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but it was very informative and very on point for me. And I was just like, holy cow, it's like, and I said, it's rare for somebody to be able to read me like that. And I'm just like, what the heck? There's a connection there, and right away, past life connection came up and we're just like, oh my God, there you go.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do too, and that's part of why my readings are so long, if you remember, is I don't know what my clients know. So I include a lot of research. So it kind of goes into, okay, if there's something you need to know about a horse or whatever, then I'll try to provide that research, but then I'll give you my psychic impressions on that. Okay, you're seeing this and getting this because of this, and just try to piece it all together to where that's why the artwork is there. So that's the activation. So you can look at it and hear that entire paragraph and see it with one image. It's kind of like how the Egyptians used to do their hieroglyphs. One hieroglyph had numerous meanings. And you could just program yourself with that one image. That's kind of the goal.
And then you see everything else and it's like, it's a totally different story, dude.
It's funny. Like the one I'm working on now, it has one thing leads to another and it all forms this story. Like, I don't know, like how yours did, kind of. It just kind of forms a story. That's what I like about it too. So it's like follow this here and then go here and then this.
It's like a little trail, like go around this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like navigating, because that's kind of what the goal is, to help you navigate. So I just think it's hilarious that Spirit found a way to work with my brain and how I interpret stuff, because I never, like they always say, when you find your gift, you won't see it coming. Like, I don't know how Spirit figured that out, because I don't know how to put that together, but it works. Like, it works. So, very grateful.
Awesome. Oh my God, thank you for being on, and I hope that you go on lives more often so that you can share your gifts with all of us, of course. And you're always welcome to do that on Star Seeds of Love and Light, because you are an admin, so you can do it anytime.
Thank you. I will. I'm gonna do it more. I even got a little phone stand because I don't have my laptop yet, so I'm just gonna fuck it and do it, right?
Yeah, fuck it, whatever. That's how I was too. I was just like, whatever. I've done public speaking before.
I used to be in a band and stuff. I don't know why I made such a big deal about.
That's what you told me. And I was like, Just imagine that it's a, you're playing in a concert, except you're giving
It's funny what makes me nervous, but yeah, you totally helped me out. I appreciate it. Because I
Aw,
was telling you, okay, tomorrow for weeks, and I just wasn't time.
yeah. Like, when are we gonna do this?
No. Ask later.
Right. Well, I'm glad you got the go ahead, and I'm glad that you were able to speak today, and everybody could meet you and know who you are. And then, if they want to have services with you now, they know your energy and they feel more comfortable to do it. That's the whole purpose of this whole thing, you guys. The Ascension Talk. It's to get your face out there so that you could commune with everyone in the group. And if you want, download this video and put it on your post it on your private business page if you want. It doesn't matter. And so that's what I'm going to do after we get off here, is download it and send it to you. So whenever you're ready, you can post it on there.
As long as I might not even watch it.
Right. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And don't forget, on Sunday, on Starseeds of Love and Light, we're going to be doing a Scorpio full moon meditation. Okay, it's going to be a deep healing one, so don't miss out. All right, thank you again, Andrea. Love you.
Thank you so much. Love you, honey. Bye.
Bye.